Billions of dollars for roads, schools, and health care up for grabs.
And Mecklenburg County could get severely shortchanged. Good evening. I'm Vince Coakley.
And I'm Erica Bryant. All new at 6. Eyewitness News reporter Jason Stajenke discovered we're hurting ourselves by not filling out the census forms. So, Jason, how bad off is Meck County?
Well, it's not looking very good. We spent the day going through the numbers. I looked at more than 10 counties in the Charlotte area, and Mecklenburg County has one of the worst, actually the worst, response rate of any of them.
My name is Pete Clem.
My name is Dennis Petro.
And the census is pretty much wrapping up, coming to a close at the end of June. And right now, census workers are out going door to door. Have you had any problems with residents being receptive or anything like that?
Yeah, we've had quite a few that are afraid to give out the personal information, or we've also found out that they say they've already sent it in. And one of our tasks as part of the census is to go out and really, if they did send it in, to ask them to give us the information again so we can kind of review it to make sure that it equals what they sent in the first time.
Now, why is it important that the U.S. Census Bureau gets an accurate count of residents?
Well, it does a number of things for you. Number one, it determines how many representatives you have in Congress. Number two, they use the counts to send tax dollars back to our community. And from my standpoint, that's probably the biggest thing that we ought to be concerned about, is tax dollars coming back into our community.
Especially for minority groups, because it identifies the minority groups so they know that their tax dollars are being sent back there to be able to help them and assist them. You know, otherwise they have no way of finding that information out.
Now, when a census worker comes to the door, what type of questions will they ask residents?
In general, we ask basically if this is their residence, were they living here on April 1st? Do they usually live here? How many are in your household? And then we ask them to give us the names of each individual in your household. We ask them what the ages of each individual in the household. We ask them what the birth dates are. Then we ask them if there's anyone in the household that's Hispanic. And then we try to identify what race, and there's varied races that they can identify with. You know, even if they say that I'm white and I'm black, or do we identify with both of them? This way, everybody get the full extent of what it's trying to accomplish. Then we ask if there's anybody there that lives part-time, whether it's foster children, whether it's going to college, or whether it's households sometimes that are separated, where the children spend so much time on one whole side and another time. So we try to identify with that, and then the last thing we try to do is identify, is there anybody they might have forgotten, whether it's babies or children or roommates or relatives, somebody that lives there more than just part of the year, half of the year, and then that's it. That's pretty much it. Whether they own or rent their home, and that's the last questions. Then we just ask them if there's a phone number that can be called back for additional information if needed. That's the end of it.
One last question. Is this information shared with any outside agencies? Is it shared with people like the landlord of the residence? Who is this information shared with, if with anyone?
When we give out, or when we come up to the door, we're going to hand the people a slip of paper that looks like this, and it explains the confidentiality of the questions that are being asked. Basically what it is, the Census Bureau will not utilize or will not give this information out to anybody. It's strictly used within the census, and your information is guaranteed to be confidential for 72 years. After that, it does become public record. One thing we want your people to understand is that when we come to the door, we're going to show a badge, and some of us are actually going to have this bag on our shoulder. So that's a very good way to know that we are out there doing the census work.
Good point.
Question, we give them the number on the back, take a call immediately while we're there to identify who we are.
Well,
if they have any question at all.
Well, you gentlemen have a good day as you go out and try to get an accurate count.